This is Business 115, Chapter 12. Let's start with the learning objectives. After this chapter, we will be able to tell why planning is so important, yet so neglected in small. Now, why is planning is so important to small businesses? As you know, planning should be the first step in performing a series of managerial functions because it sets the future course of an action for all aspects of the business. It tells us or it guides us to what business I am in, what finance do I need, what is my sales strategy, where can I find my needed personnel, the people that I might need in case of problems, how much profit can I expect. Also, it gives you the criteria like to be prepared, to be patient, know where to get helps. It's formed your own support system, know the power of vertical integration, never rest on your own laurel. Now, why is planning is so important to small businesses? Planning is one of the most difficult activities you must do. Yet, it is very important that you do it because before taking an action, you must know where you are going and how to get there. Outsiders, bankers, loaners, anyone who invests or lend you money need to know your chance of success. Plans provide course of actions, information to others, basis for chance, and a mean of delegating works. How planning relates to other managerial functions. Well-developed plan can one, it interest money people in investing in your business, the people who wanna like banks, the people who wanna loan you or invest in your business. Second, guide the owner and managers in operating the business. Three, give direction. Two, and motivate employees. And four, provide an environment to attract customers and prospective employees. Why small businesses owners neglect planning? Even though planning is so important to small businesses, it is one of the most difficult managerial activities to perform. Many small businesses owners neglect planning because one, day-to-day activities, they work every day, they're very busy. So day-to-day activities have them little or no time to planning because they're busy, they own the business, they start the business, so they are very, very, very busy. They don't have time to plan. Second, they fear the problem and weaknesses planning may reveal. They have inside feeling the plan will bring out some problems, problems or weaknesses in the business. Three, the lack of knowledge of how to do plan. Some entrepreneurs, small businesses, owners, they don't know how to do plans. And finally, they feel that future change cannot be planned for. And that's wrong. They feel that the future is changing all the time. We do need to do plan for it. Or that's not right. So let's talk about the role of strategic planning. Strategic planning provides comprehensive long-term direction to help a business accomplish its mission. Strategic planning consists of two parts: the firm's mission and objectives, and its strategics. Small businesses owners need to seek help with strategic planning as their business grow. But before you start, you should ask yourself the following questions. Do I have the ability to develop a comprehensive strategic plan to take the company to the next level? Do I have the experience and life lessons necessary for furthering the strategic vision of the company? Do I have the leadership skills the organization need to grow? Do the investors relate to and trust me? Examples of strategic planning: selecting the type of business to enter, formulating the mission of the company, deciding whether to start a new business or buy an existing one or buy a franchise, choosing the product or service to sell, deciding on the market niche to exploit, choosing the type of organization to use. SWOT analysis. SWOT is abbreviation of strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threat. SWOT is one of the tools that most strategic planners use to scan the business environment and base objectives. SWOT analysis allows the owners to identify a new market and to prepare for perceived downturns or competitors. SWOT analysis is a useful tool to aid the process of strategic planning and can be organized into the form of matrix: a threat and opportunities. They are in the external environment, and the strengths and weaknesses are in the internal environment. The key is to be able to eliminate weaknesses and threats and to maximize your strengths and opportunities. Mission and objectives. Business vision explains what the business is striving to become, or in another word, what it wants to be when it grows up. Mission statement. A business mission statement defines the present business scope and broadly describes the organization's present capabilities, focus, and activities. It is concerned with the board concepts such as the firm image, with the basic services the firm plan to perform. Objectives. Objectives are the goals that give shorter term direction to the business and serve as a benchmark for measuring performance. Example of objectives might include to increase total sale by 80% a year and to introduce with the next 2 years a new product aimed at the middle class consumers. Now let's talk about the internal resources and competitive edge. As we said earlier in SWOT analysis, we said the strengths and weaknesses are internal environment. The internal resources found in small businesses examine strengths and weaknesses of SWOT analysis to your business, such as the human resources, financial resources, and physical resources. To be competitive, the resources must be included the characteristics listed. Let's talk about human resources. Human resources include both management and non-management people, and also include the key operating employees such as production supervisors, sales personnel, financial analysts, and engineers. To keep the company competitive, these people must be motivated, imaginative, qualitative, and dictated. Now let's talk about the financial resources. They are include cash flow, debit capacity, and equity available to run the business. To make the company competitive, company finance must be adequate to maintain current level of activities and to take advantage of future opportunities. Physical competitive edge. If a small firm has exponentially good resources that are effectively used, it can, it can have a competitive edge over its competitors. Therefore, a proper evaluation of available resources may permit you to focus on your customers and provide them with a little something extra, which give you a competitive edge. Thus, a small business must align its mission, objective, and resources with its environment if it is to be effective. The proper evaluation of its competitive edge can make a small firm planning more realistic and lead to a greater profitability. Strategies are the mean by which the mission and objective sought by a small businesses can be achieved. A basic question in setting strategy is how should be the business be managed to achieve its objective and to fulfill its mission. To be most effective, strategies should give a business a competitive advantage in the marketplace. They should combine the activities such as marketing, production, or operation, research and development, finance, and personnel in order to use the firm resources most effectively. Three types of planning. Before you start your business, you do strategic planning. Then you do a business plan to attract investors. You need investors to pay or banks to finance your business. So you do a business plan to attract investors, financiers, and prospective employees. Then you continuous operational planning and control before and after the business starts opening. Setting up policies, methods, procedure, and budget. Operational planning starts with settings, policies, methods, and procedures, and budget. They all together form the basis for the other parts of operational methods and planning. Policies. Policies exist so that managers can delegate work and employees will make decisions based on the thinking and wishes of the business managers. Methods, the rule of financial planning. Financial planning can be quite simple or very complex. It involves determining what funds are needed, where they can be obtained, and how they can be controlled. It should involve at least the following: estimating income and expenses, estimating initial investment required, locating source of funds, estimating income and expenses. After all costs have been estimated, they can be totaled and subtracted from the estimated sale income to obtain the expected net profit. So in other words, you subtract your cost from your sale, and the result is your net profit. Cash flow is the amount of cash available at a given time to pay your expenses. Estimating income and expenses. Variable expenses. Variable expenses change in relation to volume of output. When output is low, your expenses are low. And when output is high, your expenses rise. Why? Because this is the cost of your raw materials. If your raw materials are high, that means your variable expenses will become high. If your raw materials are less expensive, then your variable expenses will be less. So it really depends positively with the output of your business. Fixed, on the other hand, fixed expenses has nothing to do with the output, always remain the same, like your rent, like your wages for your employees, maybe your electricity if you are spending the same amount. Locating sources of funds. Once the amount of fund needed is known, you must find sources for those funds. The money sources from which to obtain funds to start and operate your business. And those sources of fund are equity investors, are those who actually become part owners of the business. Lenders are those outsiders who provide business owners money for a limited time at a fixed rate of interest. Microloaners are small short-term loans provided by the SBA through intermediators. The role of the business plan in strategic and operational planning. The business plan could be the most useful and important document you as an entrepreneur ever put together. Now, what the plan should include or contain should have the proposed product. You have to mention your product, the expected market for it. You have to tell exactly where you think your market will be, the strengths and weaknesses of the industry. You have to do a SWOT analysis, planned marketing policies. You have to think how you're going to do marketings, operation or productions, methods, and facilities. You're going to write down how you're going to do it. Financial aspect, income, expenses, investment needed, expenses, profit, losses, and expected cash flow. A well-written business plan should answer these questions. Since you guys are going to do a business plan for this semester, so your business plan should answer these questions. Is the business formation package completed? Would it be attractive to potential investors? Because this is the main goal of the business plan, to attract your investors. Does the proposed business plan have a reasonable chance for success? Does it have any long-run competitive advantage to the owner, the investors, and the employees? What do they mean by competitive advantage? Is what do you do differently than your competitors? What did you do something more beneficial to the customers that your competitors cannot do? That's competitive advantage. Can the product be produced efficiently? Can it be marketed effectively? Can the production and the marketing of the product be economically feasible? Economically feasible, that means you can do it without costing too much money. Can the new company business function operations, distribution, finance, and human resources be properly managed? And finally, are the needed employees available for the business? Writing the plan. Executive summary. The executive summary of your plan must be a real grabber. It must motivate the reader to go on to the other sections. Moreover, it must be convey a sense of plausibility, credibility, and integrity. Your plan may be one of your many evaluated by others. You should let others to read it, to look at it before you present it to investors. You should be very honest. Use a transitional word such as but, still, and therefore. Avoid redundance. That means you didn't say things again and again and again. Use short, simple words and use visual. The oral presentation. After finishing writing your plan and finding your investors, then present the plan in person to investors or lenders from their perspectives. They will be watching you, so dress well to see what kind of person you are, because you are the business. Make their first impression of you a great one, as you may not have another chance. It's one chance. You present it, either you fail or you succeed. Demonstrate that you have a marketable product and that the business has a feasible plan for aggressively marketing it at a profit, and finally use visual aids. Be prepared to answer questions concerning the following: the adequacy of the research and development behind the product, the validity of the market research, your understanding of the business, financial projection, and why they will be work, and finally, your ability to make it happen.